And we are live. Hello, boys and girls. How we doing? Or should I say boys? Nice to have you all back in again. Nearly 100 straight in, same as last week. That's great. It's a real nice feeling, actually, guys, when you when I start and there's quite a crowd in at the beginning. I'm chuffed to bits tonight. Right, so let's say hello to everybody. I will give you the results of the poll I put out last week. Do you remember I sent, well, you might not have seen it, but I put a poll out on YouTube. And I said in that poll, I felt I was getting a bit stale doing these live streams every Friday. And I sort of said, do you want me to carry on doing them every week? Should I do them every fortnight, or maybe once a month is enough? And I've got the results in. I'm going to talk a little bit about that later, what I've decided to do, how to structure it. And I've got a few good comments that have kind of come in about that poll that have kind of led me in the right direction. You can't please everybody all the time, because you'll see from the comments tonight, one guy saying, I don't want this anymore, it bores me. And the very next comment said, I want more of that. So you can't keep everybody happy all the time, but some good results there. But we'll talk about that when there's a few more people in. I'm going to talk about, I've got quite a bit to talk about tonight, actually. But as always, before we start, let's get into some comments. Let's see who's with us tonight. And Franco was telling me last week, when I met Franco, he said to me, you know, Franco's in the background moderating. I hope he's there. He will be there. But he said, we were talking, and he said, you know, sometimes, Peter, when you answer comments or you bring comments up and you don't understand what the person is talking about, it's because something I was talking about half an hour ago, because the comments come in quite fast and furious. I try and say hello to everyone. And, you know, sometimes I'll see a comment and not quite get it, but it's something that was spoken about half an hour ago. So somebody else said I worry about numbers too much as well. I don't. It's just nice to see more in. What do you think of these three beauties behind me there? I thought I'd change it. Let me move out of the way so you can see the middle one. I don't think that's her natural hair, but very pretty three young ladies there. Try and get another three later on for you. Cheer the evening up. Right, okay, who we got in tonight then? So, as always, usual suspects. Crypto Chris, how you doing? FC says, let's put that one up. Hi, Peter, I hope you're fine. How's it going? The plan for Bangkok? Can you share us some practical details, how stuff you are moving, how you're choosing? Yeah, some good news on that tonight, guys. Remember the my problem tenant? 99% good news, but I'll talk about that a little bit later on. I hope I remember to come back to this. Right, no name. How you doing? To Peter and the crew, just doing you're doing your planning for your trip in September. Okay, good. And we'll have a little bit of news for you again as usual. I know a lot of you guys go off and you watch like the Tiger, Bangkok Post, or the rest of it. That's where I get my news from. But people work, they don't have time, or they're not that interested. But when they're watching a stream, they might want to hear the kind of latest important bits. That's why I read them out. I'm not trying to replace the BBC or the Tiger or something like that. I just, you know, it's a live stream. I add it in. Right, who else we got in? We've got lots in now. Charles Sanders, hi. Leeds, how you doing? Dave Andrew, what's that? Right, let's put that up there. This put a smile on my face. Dave Andrew said, good evening, Peter. La Pub, Mr. Egg today. He was talking about you. Not bad. Looking forward to your stream tonight. Yeah, that was a weird one, Dave. I don't actually watch a lot of YouTubers, not because I don't want to. Sometimes I'll catch a bit of Trevor or Ed, you know. I just happened to catch this guy last night. I don't know why. I was just surfing through the internet and I caught him. And I mean, I'm not upset, but according to what's his name again? Mr. Egg. According to Mr. Egg, I'm single-handedly ruined tourism in Thailand. Me personally, just me, no one else. No, what he actually said, I was really surprised, because he come on and he said he was talking about the Thailand pass and things like that, and he said, yeah, and he said it's people like Peter from Thailand Bound who've done enormous, he used the word enormous damage to the economy. And then he was talking about why they've cancelled out the 72-hour PCR test, and so he was talking about me, and he said, yeah, I think that's why they cancelled it. And I was smiling because I thought, yeah, okay, the Tourism Authority of Thailand is watching Thailand Bound. They watched that video. What it was, guys, if you didn't see it, I was in Thailand. I tested positive. I made a video about it. So how I single-handedly ruined tourism by doing that, or enormous damage, I don't know. But it did put a smile on my face. I'm not upset. But I mean, I think I would have been a bit more discreet. I would have said something like a popular YouTuber or an up-and-coming YouTuber or somebody you know on YouTube. I don't think I would have named that person, but, you know, that's his choice, isn't it? Right, let's move on. Shinrana, how you doing, mate? Carlo Lotuka, is it? Hello, Peter. It's Carlo from New York, Thailand Bound 3/22. Okay. Seamus Doherty. Hi, Peter. I'm in Germany on holidays. It's good, but still no Thailand. Yeah, I have been to Germany. I went to Colditz in East Germany. The castle, you know. Peter Demeter, looking forward to it as always. Peter, thank you. Paradise Life, good evening. TGC 2450, how you doing? Good to see you in. Dutch Falang, as always. Bottle Baby, you were in, I think you were in Ed's stream. Who did I see? Bottle Baby. Whose stream were you in? Could have been Ed's. I watched a couple of Ed's recently. The one on the street with that pork and that chicken, but not my sort of food. But there you go. Right, yeah, I like that. Red Pill Denmark. Hello, handsome man. Yeah, Danish Bacon. Hup, Dutch Farang. Yeah, we said hi to Shane. Brian Street, how you doing? Darren Drew. Gray Hughes, Alexander DuPont. I'm whizzing through them tonight, so they're not going to be half an hour late when I'm reading them out. Davil Champ, hi Peter. I have my morning coffee. I'm ready for the show. Yeah, well, of course, it's just gone 9 o'clock in the evening here, Davil, but good to see you, mate. Saji, any comments on Ukraine? No, I don't really want to talk about Ukraine and Russia. It's just stuff down there. It's sad, and I'm not belittling the situation. It's absolutely terrible, but I don't want to turn this into a discussion about Russia and Ukraine. I mean, we're here for a bit of fun, aren't we, at the end of the day? Well, I am anyway. Right. Damon, private joke there. Evening, Mr. Peter Y. Fronts. Have a great stream. Regards to all best, Damon. Yeah, and don't eat any, I hope you didn't eat any sweet corn on your dinner tonight, Damon. He knows what I mean. Right. Piri, let's go. Yeah. Thank you for that. Right, Super Cold 007. Hi, Peter. Hope you are well. 11 days and counting. Anguish weight now. Sanitizing my hands and face every 5 minutes. Well, the numbers, let me run the numbers for you guys while I'm running this out. The numbers are, I know people are fed up of talking about this, but the numbers are increasing. Now, look, daily new cases, 27,000. If you think back to about 6 weeks ago, it had been 12,000. It went down to 11,000. And, you know, it's getting bad again. But, you know, the question I asked myself was, what was the point in having the injections? I mean, I had 3 and I got it twice. But yeah, I mean, it's the same in the UK now. 1 in 20 people have got it. But, you know, like I say, I've had it twice. Well, there's the numbers there. You can have a look. I'll leave that there for a minute. Right, Danish Bacon. Great background tonight. Thank you, Mr. Bacon. Like cheer everyone up with some nice ladies there. Till. Yeah, hi. Richard. Hello, Peter. Flying to Thailand next Tuesday, 22nd of March. Let's put that up for you there, Richard. Flying 22nd of March for 3 weeks and 3 weeks in the Philippines before returning to the UK via whatever you want to say, Thailand. So I have to do 2 Thailand passes in 21 days. Yeah, that sucks, doesn't it? You'll be fine, Richard, but good on you for going through it. Bernard Purcell, is it? Hi, good to see you. Matthew, great to see you again. Ramon, how do I say that? Ramon Ritchie, is it? Hi. Canary spreads his wings. You're in again tonight. We'll get talking about everything in a minute. Let me just get everyone in here. Jerry Carl, hi. Les, hi. MD, hi. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Yeah. Johnny Barleo, is it? Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. John Paul, 132 viewers at the start, Pete. It's now. Okay, you're after one of those checks in the post, aren't you? No, it is a nice feeling, guys. I remember when I started this, the channel's been going for about 2.5 years now. I started live streaming probably about a year ago. I was very nervous, and when you first come in, you don't know how it's going to go, and you see one person's waiting. Like before the stream starts, I can see how many people are waiting, and tonight it's like 30 are waiting before it starts, and when it starts, within a minute, probably 100 people in, 250 in now. We've been going for about 10 minutes. You know, and the numbers creep up. You know, we've had as high as 500 and even 900 in the stream in Bangkok. It is a nice feeling, but it's a tough path to get there. You know, right? Nomad Traveler, hi from Vancouver. Yeah, hi, how to you? Right, Damon, is it Damon Cold on? Hi, Peter. Good to hear your blog for the first time. Good to have you here live. A lot of people miss the live version. They watch the rerun. Of course, it's not. You know, when I do watch live streams, I watch Eddie's live stream, and it's not the same when you watch it recorded, because when you watch it live, you can always, you know, join in the conversation, can't you? Nick Franco, those are 3 beautiful dudes behind you. Yeah, dudes, all right. We've got 3 others later on. I'll change it. I've been looking for some nice ones today. I've got to be really careful, guys, because I did put a picture up once. Let's just say I borrowed it, and I had the wrath on me. I had some guy, you can't do that. I took that picture and blah, blah, blah. And I said, look, mate, it's not a big deal. I'll take it down, you know. But, You think I'd gone round and slept with his wife or something. Right, Rob, you must be getting very close now. Evening, Peter. 12 days and counting down. It is getting real close now, Rob. Good luck to you on that one. JB, no time for losers because we are the mongers of the world. Really? You speak for yourself. Right, okay. Well, I'm going to be single soon, aren't I? You know that, guys. Just really quick on that. Somebody asked me earlier, they said, how's it going with your setup to Thailand? So it's all going well. I'm remortgaging. I got 1 or 2 small rental properties that I've got that I've always worked hard all my life. And I'm going through the process now of remortgaging them on long-term mortgages. I'm trying to get fixed deals, and it was all looking good. But now with the interest rates, they're up at 0.75 now. And they're saying in sort of several months, it could be right up to 7-8. Then it's, all bets are off. I'm hoping they're coming around to take the photographs of my house where I live on Tuesday, put that on the market. And everything's gone really well. I am heading out to Bangkok full time. Somebody asked me, do you know where you're going to stay? I do. I'm going to stay somewhere between Soi 3 and Asok because that's where the action is. Because of the YouTube channel, I don't want to give my game plan away right now, but I've got to be in that area. I'll be doing some work with Bangkok Pat. I'll be doing some work with Buzzin Patia. I'll be doing some work with several other people, and I'll be doing Simon. I'll be doing some work with him, and I'll be doing some stuff by myself. But like I said, I don't want to give my game plan away right now. I've got to try and think outside the box. That's such a cliche, isn't it? But it's true. I've got to try and think outside the box because I do watch other channels from Thailand, and I'm not going to name names. That's not fair. But some of them do look stale sometimes, and it's not their fault. It's really difficult to be fresh every week. But, I'm going to be single in Thailand, as it were, and I'm going to just dedicate myself to it. I'm going to throw myself at it. I've got some ideas, and I hope I can keep everybody entertained. Right. Craig Mitchum, have you been enjoying watching Ed getting drunk and loving all his food? Yeah, I left a comment on his, I watched his Hua Hin video. I left a comment. His room was tiny. I said, blimey, Ed, that room's tiny. Almost touches fingertips on each wall. But, he likes to go on a budget, doesn't he? Right, to be or not to be, not to be. Evening, Pete. Yeah. Sean, how you doing, mate? Hey, Peter, looking forward to another entertaining, enthusiastic show. All the best. We're going to talk about the live streams in a bit. Let me get rid of this and let me put this up. All right, we'll leave that up there for 5 minutes, and then we'll come back to Sean. Right, Sean. Yeah, we've read that. Good to see you in the stream, mate. Right, Alan Bright Byers, is it? Bright. Let me put it up because I can't say your name. Happy Friday live stream, Pete. Yeah. Right, JB. Not all heroes wear capes. Some have grey hair, polo tie. Yeah, do you know? I was looking at a few of the older streams, and I always seem to be wearing a black. I'll have the fashion police out on again. Do you remember somebody from the fashion police said, "Hey, you wore that shirt last week"? No, what it is, guys, I hate shopping. Right, and honest to God, this is a true story. When I find something that fits and I like it, I'll buy half a dozen. I'll go in and I'll buy a polo shirt. Say I want to buy some polo shirts, because the sizes don't always. It will say, Thailand makes me laugh. It's like one size fits all, and you're like. It's like you're wearing a condom. Yeah, beautiful fit, sir, beautiful fit. But if I go into a shop and I find a polo or a pair of trousers and I think, yeah, these are nice, they feel comfortable, I like them, they look good, they're not too expensive, don't look too cheap, I'm going to buy it. I'll buy 6 because I hate shopping. So with the polos, I'll buy 2 black, 2 blue, and there's only certain colors. I don't like reds. I don't like, obviously, pinks. I don't like kind of greens and things like that. I kind of like the gray, white, blue, black, them sort of colors. Khaki's okay. So sometimes it does look that I'm being a repeat offender with the fashion police, but it's not. I've had a wash. Right. Derek Sharkey, where is Elvis? He might be on the stream tonight. Andrew Hammond, how you doing? Andrew, I'd love to get you on here as a guest, mate. Andrew, good evening, Peter. I think I saw that July 1st travel to Thailand will be open to everybody, even the unvaccinated. Right, I'll talk about that next because we've got 300 in. Andrew, let me put my email address. If you're interested in coming on the stream one night for a chat, I'm not going to ask you your inside leg measurements even. Let me just try and find my email address for you here because I would like to get you in. I can't find it. There it is. Right. Okay. So, Andrew, if you fancy being on the stream one night, just drop me a line and we'll talk about. I'll hook up with you on Zoom or something like that. Okay. You can rewind this if it goes off too fast. Show my age now. Rewind. Right. Okay. I'll come back to everybody in a bit. Let me just what we're doing. Right, let me whisk through a few more people so they don't think I've blanked them. Then I'll do a bit of news and then we'll talk about the live stream. We've got Joke of the Week later. And tonight, I knocked it on the head, but we are going to do Spot the Ladyboy just for the nostalgia. I'm not going to do it every week, just tonight. It's a cabin crew one again that I did 2 months ago. I think you'll have forgot what the answer was, so we'll run that later on. Right, Richard Miller, how you doing? Somebody's Barmy Army there. Yeah, I can't pronounce that name. Elifasson's Barmy. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. I just announced it, and there you are. That's what you're asking me. So you got your answer. Up to me. Cheers, Peter, on the mango and raspberry cider. Good man. Bottle baby again. Eslo stream. Yeah. Adrian Baker. Hi from Sydney. Did I say hi to you, Matthew Cartwright? Yeah, I think I did. Dutch Falang. Nick mentioned 1st of July. Well, I'll go and read that out to you in a bit. Just let me get through these. I fly for me. Good evening, Steve P. Love the channel. Hope you get out to Thailand this year. Your videos are fun to watch and informative. Keep them coming. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that. And I will be going out there this year. I was hoping to be out there permanently by the summer holidays. I think it might be delayed until October now, but I've got to get out there this year. I've got to get out there. If you know me, if you've been here before, I've got a Korean wife. We've been married for 33 years. We're kind of going to go our separate ways for a while. And the way I say for a while, she wants to go back to Korea and spend time there. I don't want to go to Korea. I don't want to stay in the UK by myself. I've got nothing to stay for. My daughters are grown up. And so we've just decided, we've been together 33 years. There's no bad feelings. There's no bitterness. That we're not even going to get a divorce. We're just going to do our own thing for a while, see how it goes. I'm going to head out and live in Thailand. She's going to go back to Korea. If something happens with her, fair enough. If something happens with me, fair enough. But there's no, we still have feelings for each other. We still care for each other. There's no bad feelings. If anybody watches it, they think, well, hang on, you're staying with your wife, or so she's going her way, I'm going my way. So I'm going to be single in Bangkok for the first time ever, which is going to be strange. Right. Sis, hi all. Yeah, still authentic. Hello, Peter. Best regards from California. Martin McCormick, hi. Sis, we did that one. No logs, is it? Hello, Peter. Everyone in the chat. Hope you're all well. Right, just see if there's any I haven't got. Robert Dickerson, quick question at the currency exchange. Do you need your passport every time, or would a photocopy be fine? Now, a photocopy definitely won't be fine, but I'll tell you what will be fine. I'm just presuming you're UK or even American or Australian driving license. I carry my UK driving license in my wallet. And when I go to a change booth, I just whip out my driving license. They won't accept a photocopy because it can be doctored, right? Don't take your passport out. It's not worth risking it. The law is in Thailand, you're supposed to have your passport on you at all times, because if the police stop you, then you're supposed to be able to produce it and show the police. I've never carried it on me, but what I would top tip, photograph everything. So photograph your important pages in your passport, flight return ticket, address of your hotel, anything you need. And then if you get stopped or you need that information, you've got it on your smartphone, haven't you? But a driving license answer to your question. Geraldo, how you doing? James Casey, hi. Right, let's have a look. JB, I had Rommel from the pub over the other day to paint the daughter's bedroom. He told me he had some secrets from Cambodia, but would go to jail if anyone knew. Cheap Charlie must have stolen something. Bum bum. Not quite sure on that one. Let me read that again. I didn't get that. I had Rommel from the pub over the other day to paint the daughter's bedroom. He told me he had some secrets from Cambodia, but would go to jail if anybody knew. Cheap Charlie must have stolen. No, I don't get. That's gone over my head, JB. Sorry, mate. Right, Mac. Videos, car crash, hilarious. Yeah, okay. Jackie Chang, probably not the real Jackie Chan, I would imagine. Did you see Eddie's room in Bangkok? Well, I did mention it was quite small, wasn't it? But it looked clean and comfortable. That's the main thing. For me, a hotel room has to be clean and safe, like the door locks. Okay. Wayne Cooper, hi Peter. Waiting for my house sale to go through in West London. So hopefully 8 weeks time, and then back to your house and patio. Okay, so we're on the same kind of wavelength. Right. I'm gonna stop just there on them. Apologies if I missed your name, because I can't just sit here reading out people's names tonight. Right. The big news of the night. Hang on, I've opened my email. Let me get rid of that. I'll sort of slow the stream down. Right. So you probably know this already. Everybody's, you're all waiting for the Thailand pass to be cancelled and all the rest of it. So the title of this story, I'll just get it out of the way now. Thailand state of emergency extended. COVID is still a pandemic. So, they went into this meeting and they were under a lot of pressure. Everybody was hoping that they would drop pandemic to endemic. The tourism industry are on their they're falling on their pants, haven't they? Because now this thing with Russia, they can't sell cars to Russia. They haven't got Chinese tourists. They're not going to have Russian tourists, except the ones that are stranded there who run out of money. There isn't too many Indian tourists around at the moment, and a lot of us sort of people are not going there. So they really need the tourism badly. And what's basically come out of this, as I said, 2 years into the pandemic, Thailand's state of emergency is still in effect and has been extended for 2 months, giving the government sweeping powers to tackle the outbreak through its establishment of COVID task force. The decree was extended from April the 1st to May the 31st. In a press conference today, the Prime Minister said COVID is still a pandemic and there's a need to be careful consideration and evaluation before transitioning to an endemic phase. And then it says the CCSA ignores calls to lift afternoon ban on sales of booze in the afternoon. So they wanted the sale of alcohol to continue throughout the day because they can't sell between, I think it's 2 and 5. So that's quite bad news. They're going to, it's really strange because everywhere's opening up. I mean, if you look at, you've got Vietnam, Cambodia, everywhere's opening up, but Thailand seems to be taking this real putting it on the back burner. I mean, look, here's an article about Vietnam. Vietnam announced an end to quarantine for international travelers on Wednesday as it seeks to restart its tourism industry after 2 years of strict restrictions, right? The only requirement for visitors will be a negative test. The country's Ministry of Health said in a statement the tourism sector was worth up to 32 billion a year before the pandemic, but it ground to a standstill during the pandemic as the government restricted travel. Curbs have slowly been eased in recent months, with visitors trickling back since November to play golf at the resorts under a bubble arrangement. Vietnam also announced the 15-day resumption of the 15-day visa travel for citizens from 13 countries: Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Britain, Russia. Well, they won't get many Russians. Japan, South Korea, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and Belarus. That's a surprise. Right, so there you go. I mean, that's everywhere else is opening up, and Thailand's, they're still not. They're kind of like, well, no, let's carry on. Let's see any comments on that. Seamus Doherty, to be honest, it's crazy that Thailand are keeping up restriction. It really is, Seamus, because you can't understand it. Because okay, you don't have to live on the dark side of the moon to realize that it's still out there. The numbers are getting higher, 1 in 20 in the UK. And, it's gone from sort of 11,000, 10,500, 11,500 a day in Thailand. It's now up to 27 a day. But at the end of the day, what is it? What is it doing? Is it killing people? Is it putting people in the hospital? No, I can't see it happening. Most of the people who pass on, they've got underlying health problems, haven't they? I mean, I've had it twice now and I'm still here, unfortunately for you lot. Right. Nikki T, evening Pete. I just had a blinding 3 weeks in Cambodia. They just dropped PCR yesterday, so couldn't be easier. Now wish Thailand would follow suit. There you go. I mean, they're all dropping this, these strict, they're all dropping these strict conditions, but Thailand seems to be stepping backwards, don't they? There was some positive news here. You must have heard about this. This is from the Bangkok Post today. It says pre-travel COVID tests. Have you noticed I'm saying COVID now? It doesn't matter anymore, does it? Pre-travel COVID tests for arrivals lifted from April the 1st from the Bangkok Post. The Centre for COVID Situation Administration on Friday resolved to discontinue the requirement that visitors pass a pre-travel COVID test from April the 1st, but testing on arrival will continue. He said the requirement for pre-travel tests would end for all visitors, whether arriving by test and go, sandbox, or quarantine channels. People who enter the country through the test and go or sandbox programs would be given an RT-PCR test on arrival and be required to perform an antigen self-test on day 5 after arrival. Monitored at their hotel, sandbox visitors would remain in reception areas for 5 days. The CCSA would continue to require visitors to have insurance coverage of at least $20,000. That's dropped down from 50,000. So as I understand it now, from the 1st of April, you no longer have to get that PCR test before you get on the aircraft. You'll get one on arrival, usual sort of thing. They'll drive you to the hospital and you'll have that first night, and then you do the 5-day allergen test. And that's it. So, I'm not going to talk about it all night. We know what's going on. Right. We've got over 350 now. So I'll say hello to a few more people. The signal doesn't look very brilliant on the internet. I'm looking at what you guys are looking at, and I am going through my phone this evening. Right. Is that on the camera, that speck? Let me see if I can get that off. A speck of something on there. Does that come off? No. I'll do that later. I better not do it while I'm live, had I? Right. Let me try going on another internet connection because this is terrible again. Right. Okay, bear with me, guys. I'm going to switch connections. Still there. I was on my phone, and normally there's a better connection on there. It's faster because I've been having terrible problems with my internet recently, and I've just switched to the broadband now, so I might be talking to myself. Let's see. It takes a minute to catch up on that TV. I'll just say hello to some people and then see if you're still there. John K, that's my worst nightmare. Then, hi. Let's see what you said. I was afraid there wasn't going to be a chat tonight. I really do look forward to it. Anyone is bored, but can do something else. Right. I'm really cheesed off about this internet, guys. You know, I've got the fastest internet I can get in my area, and it's not very good, is it? Okay, let's just carry on. I'm not going to talk about it. Hopefully you can hear me all right. And it just kind of puts me off when I look at what you guys are looking at, and I look at the pictures gone a little bit bad. It kind of throws me off my train of thought, as it were. Right. Yeah, we've done that one. Right, Donald Person. Hi, brother. Don, California, USA. Hi, Don. Nick T. Right, we've done that one. Let's go down to some newer ones. Kevin Kilera. Joel, the US has. Right, okay. James Casey, Fuzzy Wuzzy. Yeah, I know. We're back. It looks like it's come back again, guys. I'm gutted. You know, I mean, I've got really high speed broadband supposedly. I hooked on my phone tonight. I'm now back on the main internet. Now that isn't too bad. I hope it stays like that because I'm starting to get a sweat on now. It just puts me off. Right, okay, rewind. Nothing happened. Okay, let's get back in. Let me get my mojo back and get back in the groove, as it were. All right, let's talk a little bit about these live stream. You know, I put the poll out because I sentence myself before I've been caught for the crime, you can say. I'm my own worst judge. And I put out a poll last week and I said, look, guys, I feel this is getting repetitive because every Friday I sit here, I talk about the same stuff. It's nice to see a lot of people in the stream, and I hope you're enjoying it. I certainly enjoy doing the streams, but I tend to feel like it's getting a bit repetitive. And I was thinking, nobody sort of come to me and said, oh, Peter, it's the same old thing you do every week. You should cut it out. Nobody did that. Nobody said anything, but I'm my own worst judge. And I sent out a poll and I basically said, look, do you think I should cut it down to every 2 weeks, or should I make it once a month? And I'll show you the results. I've got it here. I've uploaded it for you. So here's the result of the poll. So as you can see in the red box there, 1,700 people voted. And you can see, right, okay, so 46% said continue every week. I have nothing better to do. 22% said, yes, they are starting to get repetitive. Make them every 2 weeks. And 32% said once a month is plenty. Okay, so I had to think about it. I've got some really good comments that I want to read out here to you as well. So the first thing I thought, well, if the poll would have come with with every week less, in other words, most people said, no, do it every 2 weeks, a month, that's enough. And a lot of people said, no, once a week's too much. And I would have cut it back. But the way I figure it, the guys who actually came in and said, look, every 2 weeks is plenty, or once a month is plenty. Well, they don't have to come every week, do they? They can say, well, I'm going to watch them once every 3 weeks, or when I feel like it. Or the guys who say once a month is enough, they can watch it once a month. But, you know, for the guys who enjoy it every week, as I do, you know, why should I stop it? If there's guys out there and they enjoy it every week and they want it every week, then I'll put it out. But what I've decided to do, I've decided to kind of change the format a little bit. Let me read a few comments. These are comments, and I've written the names. I hope the guys don't mind. I hope there's only 3 or 4 of them here. I hope people don't mind me reading out the comments, just to give you an idea of how different people's ideas are. So this is from somebody called Nino. He says, I think your streams are great, but you should make them a little more interactive. I would encourage people to tell anti-adults their Thailand experience, their mistakes, etc. Also, people should try to avoid taking COVID testing and stuff. It's not your fault, of course, but personally, I'm kind of fed up with Thailand pass stories, quarantine, etc. It's has been around for months now. So what Nino's saying, he doesn't want to hear all this Thailand pass and the latest in there, right? But put yourself in my place, guys, right? So bear that comment in mind, right, while I read this one out. This is from Darcy Dyer. So it says, and I've taken this as not as a negative way, as a positive feedback, and I'll talk about it. So Darcy said, "Hi, Peter, I love what you do, but I think since you have come back from Thailand, you have stopped doing what worked so well. I think maybe a little structure is also needed. I feel that as most of your subscribers are probably going to Thailand within the next 6 to 12 months, you should begin the stream with the updates, credible rumors on restrictions, Thai pass, etc. That's what I want to hear," bearing in mind Nino's comments, yeah? Then go back on and talk about other things. The little segments, the old TV advert, Spot the Ladyboy, etc. work brilliantly. If you can't do these specifically, then something else, go back to basics. Still great channel and love your work. Yeah, okay, so two completely different ones there, but I'll talk about that comment because I like that. Itchy hooter again. Right, Eugene Booth. I guess it all depends on why you do it. If you do it for the income, you need to keep your face in the game. Well, I don't do it for the income. The income is small, it's nice, it's pocket money, but I don't do it for the income, right? If it is a passion and you always wanted to be a vlogger, you probably wouldn't be asking such a question. Well, I would, because I do like doing it and I have got a passion for it and I really enjoy it. But I don't want to do it because I enjoy it. You know, if people watching it saying, "Oh, this guy's talking about the same old thing," then that's the reason why I put out the poll. That's the reason why I asked everyone. So yeah, of course I like doing it. Right. You need to look at Kim Kardashian, do I? And Paris Hilton and see how they panned out. Once Paris stopped promoting herself, she slipped off the radar into obscurity. Kim, on the other hand, has constantly kept her face in the game and has gone from strength to strength. So that's a good point there. Last one. This is from Taxi Talau. Now, he's in the stream every week. I've had, you know, we've written to each other plenty of times. And he was one of the guys who's, well, okay, I won't tell you what he said, but I'll read this comment. Peter, I really enjoyed the live streams and would like them weekly. So, you know, Taxi Talau wants them weekly. And I agree with Nemo's comments in that maybe get them more interactive and cover some different subjects or antidotes that people have. There are an endless supply of topics and material, in my opinion, and there's plenty on the stream with a lot of experience of Thailand, not just the nightlife and people that want to learn too. Right, so that is really good. So I've analysed everything you've said. And the one thing that's come out of this is that you, Wes, thank you, mate. I'm going to put this up, but I'm not going to stop talking because I always forget, didn't I? Nice to see you in the stream. I'll just put that there. Right, one thing that I've gotten out of this feedback, and I'm glad I did the poll, is that a lot of guys are saying, look, we don't want to just sit there and watch you and listen to you. One guy actually said he didn't want to watch me preach. Preaching is when you sort of, you know, well, it's called, you know what preaching is. I don't think I preach. But one thing that has come out of the comments is that a lot of guys have said, look, why don't you make it interactive? Why don't you bring more people in? And I want to do that, but it's like, you know, how? I can read your comments out. If I see a question, I can address that question. But other than that, you know, I've got to be careful who I bring into the stream because I can't just, I know there's, I won't mention the channel, but I've seen a YouTube channel, a couple of YouTube channels where they put a link up and anybody who wants to come in can click that link and they'll come into the stream. And sometimes they'll have, you know, 6, 7 people, 12 people in the stream, all little faces, all little boxes, but they do that with their members area. So these are the guys that have joined. They know who they are. They all know each other. But, you know, you've got to be careful because you guys know what it's like. Trolls come in and although I've got Franco in the background there, people come in and say stupid, write stupid stuff. And the last thing I want is somebody in the stream and he comes out with a load of, you know, terrible nonsense. So, you know, I don't know if you've got any ideas. I've got a guy who hopefully I can get on next week. He's got a small YouTube channel. He's quite an interesting guy. He's a guy called Paul. He comes into the stream sometimes. He's got, like I say, he's got a smaller channel called Gogo Bar Hopping. You might see him in here sometimes. Now, I had a very interesting chat with Paul in the week. He told me a real funny, interesting story about a bar girl. And I asked him to tell it to you guys on the live stream because I said, that's fantastic. That's what guys want to hear. They want to hear, you know, that experience. And, you know, he was kind of reluctant because of the girl. He knows her. And I don't want to go into his personal details. But I said to him today, I wrote to him today and I said, look, you know, why don't you come in this stream and we'll just talk about whatever you want to. And he come back and said, you know, I don't want to come in tonight, but I'll come in next week. So he said he'll come in next week. But, you know, if there's anybody who you can think I can bring into the stream or another way to make it interactive, other than the chat, because that's what a lot of you are saying. You're saying you want it to be interactive, you want to join in. You know, that's why I try and read out as many as the comments as I can, because I don't want people putting in comments, hi, how you doing? I don't even address them. You know, I like to say hi to everyone. So, you know, if you've got any ideas, fair enough, I'll jump on them. But it will be different when I'm in Thailand, because you know, obviously I can interact with a lot more people in Thailand. You know, there's girls, lady boys, there's bar owners, there's just lots of various people I can go along and say, look, can I have a chat with you and do an interview? And you know, I've done some interviews already, haven't I? I've done with Brian Flowers, Katie, the American lady, Bangkok Pat. I've done a number of interviews and I enjoy doing them. But when I'm stuck in the UK, it's hard to know who to get in here. So, you know, I mean, look, let's leave it like this. Let's leave it like this. If you think you'd be interested to come onto the stream, you've got some story that you'd like to share, why don't you write to me? I'll put my email address up there again, okay? And it's really simple. All you need is a laptop with a camera. It's not high tech or anything. We can have a practice 20 minutes before the stream goes live. All I'll do is I'll send you a link by email or by WhatsApp or whatever it is. Not WhatsApp, because I don't want some nutter contacting me if I don't know you. But I'll send you a link by email, whatever. You click it. You'll come on here. It'll be private. Nobody else will see it. We can have a chat. I'll judge whether you're an axe murderer or you're pretty straight. And if you think there's something you can bring to the stream, you know, then we'll do it. So there's my email address. If you think you want to come on and do a spot, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, that's long enough, then do it. So the other thing, just to round up, to finish off on this live stream, because you guys did take the trouble to respond to the poll. So what I've decided to do now, I'm going to cut it down. I am going to do it every Friday. Normally I do 2 hours. I did 5 hours with it. I'm still waiting for Ed to get back to me, because I want to do another live stream with him. He said he would do it, but wait till he gets somewhere a bit more interesting. He hasn't got back to me yet. I'm sure he will. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and structure it a little bit like this. So I'm going to come on, I'll do 15 minutes of hellos, mentioning people, 15, 20 minutes. Then we'll do a little bit of news, because I think that is important. You want to know what's going on if you haven't watched it if you haven't read the Bangkok Post, the exam, or anywhere like that. I won't string it out. So I'll do 15, 20 minutes saying hi to everyone in the chat. I'll do 10 minutes of news, 15 minutes of news. We'll do some fun stuff like the Ladyboy competition or the joke of the week or whatever we're going to do. We'll come back and we'll do some more comments, talk about what you guys want to talk about, and we'll cut it 120, 130 maximum. And then, you know, next week, hopefully you'll be looking forward to the next one. If I drag it on for 2 hours every week, then it will be repetitive. Okay, so let's get back to you guys and see what you're saying, and then we'll do something else. I've got some other bits and pieces. Right. Second opinion in the poll has negative wording, repetitive, which is why people might have avoided it over picking the third. All right, breaking it down there, breaking it down, Sam. Cam the Cook. Peter, I look forward to your show every week. It's like a hangout. We have a few pops, beers. It's all good. Yeah, should we have a beer now? What's the time? Yeah, I tell you what. You know, last week, this is really funny. You know, normally what I'll do is I'm going to grab a beer, I put up a card, and I go out and I grab a beer from my fridge. I come back. Well, last week I lost about, I'd say 50 to 80 people. I came back and I thought, blimey. I mean, people came back in, but people don't want to sit there and watch a card. So I've actually been thinking outside the box. What can I do so that doesn't happen? So I thought, I've been thinking outside the box, but the beers are inside the box. I bought a cooler and I've bought, I'm on this stuff now. Look, I'm not on the Kronenberg now because this is $3.25 from Aldi for 4 of them. I'm doing my best impersonation of Ed Sweeney here, 52 for 22p. No, they're pretty good. They're 4.5%, and yeah, £3.25 for 4. So I've got that. I've got a small diet lemonade. I'm well organised there. I'm really chuffed to bits, and oh, it's nice and cold. So there you go. I've got my beers, and I haven't been anywhere. Now I've got to try and pour it discreetly. Right, right. Running Man 21. Most of life is repetitive. Keep the weeklies. Well, I'm going to, but we'll keep it a bit shorter. Davo, you are a champ. Look, you give me a super chat. Damien, you give me one as well. All I can say is that these Friday live streams are great. We all have a big family now. We all look forward to your streams, Peter. It's like a Friday night meeting. Don't change again. No, I do like him, Damien. Genuinely, I don't do it. I don't do it for you know. I'm not. Yeah, I like it if someone buys me a beer, like Dave Champion. Always enjoy the live stream, Peter. Thanks. Yeah, of course. Who doesn't like a you know, little donation there? but I don't do it. If I did it for the money, it wouldn't be like last week. I think I took £15 on here, and you do know, don't you, that YouTube take 30% of it. So for every pound you take, you only get 70 pence of it. I say only, it's still good. Right, let me just pour that. What should we do next? Joke of the week or the Ladyboy competition? I got something for you. There's a scam going around, and it's they jumped on the Thailand thing. So let me put this back in the box. Thinking outside the box to get the beer from inside the box. Right, there we go. eBay. Right, guys, cheers. Here's to 1.5 hours of mayhem. Oh, it doesn't really matter what the beer is because I put a bit of Sprite on the top of it. It kind of makes it a real nice taste anyway, whatever you're drinking. Right, Kevin, the guy that said that you're a preacher needs to go listen to a preacher and let us know how boring and wretched a real preacher is. Yeah, I don't think he meant it in a nasty way, because he sent me a picture of him and his girlfriend, who was very, very nice. And I think he was just trying to get the point across to say, look, I don't want to. People are different. Some people like to listen to people while they're having a beer. It's just, or like, I know Damon, he's into his motorbikes. He's got a couple of Ducatis in his garage. He only rides them in the good weather. Thanks. How do I say that? Nologs. Yeah, thanks for that. Now I know for a fact, Damon, he doesn't watch this stream. He'll be tinkering with his motorbikes, cleaning them. But he's got me on in the background, and if something pricks his ears up, he'll come into the stream. And I know there's a lot of people with the stories as well. You know, the Saturday morning stories. I know people aren't sitting there glued watching their screens. That would be boring, wouldn't it? People, you know, they walk the dog, they go to the gym, and you know, however, that's up to them, isn't it? Right, Paul Hoskin. My story, Peter. Been with a lot of bar girls, spent a lot of money. Now I'm broke. The end. Short and to the point, Paul. Right, I can never pronounce this name. Foxy, I'm going to call you. Right, Thailand bound Peter. Once you're in Thailand, make documentaries like the one you did about the bombed bridge during World War II. It's nice and interesting video format. Yeah, well, I will. But you know, there's an old saying, "Sex sells," doesn't it? And there's a I'm not going to name it because you'll all run off and look at her. But there's a channel based in Thailand, in Pattaya. It's a girl, a pretty little girl, and she does these videos about nothing really. But she's got so many subscribers to her channel, and you know, because she's a little cutie and she, you know, waggles about, and guys love to watch that, and you know. You know, sex sells, doesn't it? But no, let me get back to what you were saying there. I actually really enjoy them sort of videos. You know, the bridge on the River Kwai and the American Air Base. I did the Grafton Underwood, 4 miles from my house, Grafton Underwood Airfield, Flying Fortresses. That's the video I'm most proud of doing, and that's a video that's had the least viewings on my channel. I think something like 2,000 viewings in about 6 months. Whereas the 1 hour Nat and Dave's had 150,000 in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But I think if I'm in Thailand, then I can make videos about everything, can't I? I can interview bar girls, I can interview managers, I can do bridge on the River Kwai type videos. And, you know, when you're in the country, it's really difficult when you've got a channel called Thailand Bound, you're 6,000 miles away from the country. So I have got lots of ideas. But let's get back to this stream anyway. I don't want to send people to see. Right, guys, there's a scam going around. You might have heard about this. There's a lady, she's a Thai lady. She's got a company who does, I can't remember, she's got a company that does the Thailand Pass on your behalf. Now, I've received this. I'm going to hold it up and see if you can see it. I've received this about 3 times. I just delete them. And I knew it was a scam. Let me see. Can you see that? Right. You can't really read it. I'll read it out to you. Right. Okay. So you get, right. Now, I'm not applying for Thailand Pass. I've had my Thailand Pass. I've gone and I've come back. But, you know, I've got this 3 times and I know it's obviously a scam. Why do I know it's a scam? Because I'm not going to Thailand. I don't have a Thailand Pass organized. Paul Shackleton, thanks for that. I appreciate that. You're a star. Right. Okay. So all it basically says, it's supposedly, it says from support@consular-document.com. The system noticed some problems in the documents you submitted to the embassy. You should correct some information so that you are not held responsible by the government. Please reply to this message and write the following: your full name, your date of birth, last 4 digits of your passport. Then now they're supposedly from the Thai embassy, right? And it says, we apologize for any inconvenience caused on your Thailand Pass. Best regard, thanks. Right? So it's the Thailand embassy and they're finishing by saying thanks. Load of bollocks. Right. So if you get an email like that, guys, just delete it. It's a total scam. And I think what it is, it's a phishing exercise. You send in your name, your last 4 digits, and your date of birth. They can't do a lot with that, but then they start to reel you in. You know, they're gonna ask for other information, right? Okay. Right. Let me just have another slurp on this, and let's do a quick change of photo. Got a few for you tonight. Let's try that one. Okay. Right, Simon Inglis, where are you? When are you returning to Thailand? Well, you've come in late, Simon, because I've already discussed that. But later in the year is a short version. D-Rock says it's all right. You're talking to someone else. It's cold in Sweden. Yeah, it's getting warmer in the UK now. Right, Donald Person, maybe set up a tour business with everything, Patty a channel and have tour to the best gentleman's club. I don't really want to do that, Donald. I'll tell you what, it's a great idea. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad idea. If I was 40, I'd probably do it right. I'm not over the hill, but I'm 62 next birthday. I've worked since I was 15 years of age. I have never had a day off. I've never had a day off sick. When I go out to Thailand, I want to relax. I want to enjoy myself. Now, I love YouTube. I love interviewing people. I like going to make videos, but I don't want to be tied where I have to go here at a certain time. Somebody said to me, why don't you be the new Bernard Trink? If any of the older guys out there, if you remember the 90s, Bernard Trink had a column in, I think it was a Bangkok Post. It was called The Night Owl or something like that. And there was no internet back then. So if you wanted to know what was going on in Bangkok, he kind of covered Soy Cowboy Nana and all that sort of thing. And he'd write, new bar opening tonight. This bar celebrating 10 years, or a new manager in this bar. So you get the Bangkok Post, I think it was. Look at the Night Owl column, and Bernard Trink, he's a legend. He's dead now, but he was the man who, he was Mr. Nightlife. He knew everything was going on, and he was a man everyone turned to. And someone said to me, "Why don't you do that? What Bernard Trink does?" Well, one, I'm not a professional journalist, so that would be a bit of a hold up. And secondly, I'd be tied to it, wouldn't I? It'd be like I'd be relaxing. It's like Sunday night. There's a new bar opening in Soy Cowboy. Okay, so I'm the guy who reports on all these new things. I want to relax, put my feet up, have a beer, watch a movie on Netflix, but I've got to start till 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, because there's a new bar opening. I really don't want to be tied to it in the same way I don't want to be tied to doing tours and things like that. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't do tours at all. If somebody wrote to me and said, look, you know Thailand, you've been there for years, never been before. How about meeting me at the airport? We'll go out for a night out, take me around the next day, and I'll give you so many baht. What would you charge me? Yeah, I'll do it. But I don't want to be tied to it and do it every day. So, right, Black Bolt, one of your better backgrounds. This one or the one behind? Have I got any more of them? Hang on, I think I like the one from last week. I'm going to put the one from last week up because that's a fantastic one. This one. Remember this one? And I'll put the other one up again later. It's the girl in the black on the left. She's very cute. I'm allowed to say that now. I hear you just thought it would be fun, but I know it's work. What, YouTube? Well, you do have to spend a lot of time on it, but yeah, it's like anything. Right, guys, I'm going to do... let me just show you this. Somebody sent me this in. I don't know why I'm putting it up, really. Just a little drawing someone's doodle there. I thought it was a little bit humorous. Thought I'd put it up. And that's it. Nothing more to say on that one. Did you hear about that Irish guy who got attacked in Tree Town? This kind of thing happens to guys. And it's like I always say, it doesn't happen if you don't do anything wrong, right? Thais don't just walk up to you and beat you up for nothing. They don't, believe me. Okay, there might be the odd robbery or something, but they don't just walk up to you in Tree Town and beat you up. Right, I'm going to put a picture up. It's not great, but I'm going to read out a story about an Irish guy who got beat up by some security guards. So look, there's a guy licking his wounds. Right, now I've got to find the story. Right, where are we? Right, here we go. Right, so the title of this is Pattaya security guards allegedly attack foreign tourists following a bill dispute. Now, I'll read it and you tell me if you think he was innocent or not, right? So, security guards at a nightlife complex in central Pattaya are accused of attacking a foreign tourist in a dispute over a bill. The Pattaya News reports that the incident took place around 11:30 p.m. last night at the Tree Town complex, with a 58-year-old man reportedly Irish injured in the brawl. For their part, the guards claimed the tourist refused to pay his bill and tried to run off. When they stopped him, they say he tried to fight them, then he accidentally fell over. Two Australian tourists who witnessed the incident told police the man had been chased by a number of Tree Town security guards. They report seeing the man fall and hit his head, but they could not say who started the fight. When questioned by police, two security guards stated that the man had refused to pay his bill and tried to flee the venue. They say they tried to stop him, they chased him and blocked his path, at which point he became aggressive and shoved them. They claim they responded in self-defense and they were trying to calm him down. The man fell and hit his head. Police have admitted they are skeptical of the guard's story and will review security footage of the area. They also plan to speak to the Irish tourist once he has recovered, at which point they will decide if charges need to be brought. So you make up your mind on that one, guys. I would imagine something like this happened. I would imagine he maybe got an extra bill put in his pot, something like that, refused to pay it. They said, you've got to pay it. You can't, that's your bill pot. You've got to pay it. You know, he put the big one on, didn't he? He tried to play the big one. He said, I'm not playing it. And instead of trying to negotiate it and say, look, you know, this isn't mine. If he had to pay it, just don't go back there or try and negotiate it. What did he do? He walked off. I'm not going to put up with that, right? How much was his bill? They didn't say how much his bill was. It could have been 5,000 baht for all we know. Now, he's obviously walked off thinking he can get away with it. Security have chased him. He's probably fueled by alcohol. He's probably, you know, he's had a bit to drink. And, you know, some of the ties look small. And he probably thought, well, you know, they're not going to do a lot to me. But the ties, they gather in numbers. You know, they don't fight one-on-one. And he's probably done something like he's probably shoved one. And that was like a red rag to a bull. And they've just reacted and pummeled him. But, you know, I've never seen it happen to somebody who's innocent. Wes, thanks again for that. The ad from Nikki's handlebars for the ribs, the best rack in Phuket would be a great background. I haven't got it in this stream, Wes, because what happens is every time I put things into the stream, like not adverts, I don't show adverts, people's pictures and stuff, then I delete them for the new ones this week. So that was last week and this is this week. But thanks for the super chat again. You're very generous. Right, Paul Gitt, it was not a fight, it was a special operation. Good one. I like that. That is very, very clever, Paul. I don't know where you're coming from on that. Right, JB. I was in a fight with two bar staff once and managed to knock one out. On reflection, I should have stopped what I was doing and punched one of them instead. All right. Dave Andrews says, always check your bin or pay as you go. I've got an interesting video coming out on Sunday. It's called 10 Things They Don't Tell You in Thailand. That's all I'm going to say. Stories tomorrow. Sunday, 10 Things They Don't Tell You About Thailand. You have to look out for that one. Right, new name. I don't recognize this name. Peter Bleach. Peter, don't you find the way Thailand has changed depressing? I first went in 1995 and went back 8 times. What was once a few huts now has an resort. Yeah, I don't find it depressing because it's progress, Peter. And at the end of the day, everywhere moves forward. Nowhere's going to stay still. I feel quite sad for a couple of reasons. One, when I was there in the early days, I was in my early 30s. Now I'm in my early 60s. So it's not quite the same, is it? You know, I don't get handsome man anymore. Well, I do, but it's not for genuine reason. It was very quaint back then. Patio was like, it was a ducking and diving. You didn't boast about going there. It wasn't all over the internet. There was no BTS Skytrain. There was no metro. You know, the girls were much more pleasant, accommodating. It was almost, you know, they appreciated your business a lot more. It was much nicer if you remember those times. But depressing? No, it doesn't depress me. I just accept it for what it is, basically. Right, I tell you what. Before we do any more comments, I'm going to do this just as a one-off, guys, because people say, oh, why don't you do the Ladyboy competition? Now, I've done this one already. This is an easy one. I think it's easy. Now, this is the one, if you're a regular, we've got nearly 400 in now, so a good time to do this. It's about, I think there's 15 pictures here. Now, they're all flight stewardesses. Is that how you say it? Stewardess. They're all flight girls. I say it that way. So all these pictures are girls in flight uniforms. There's about 15 pictures. Only one is a ladyboy, right? So I'm going to run the clip, about 15 images with a little bit of background music. Only one. So I want the number of the one that you think is a ladyboy. That's the competition tonight, all right? And without further ado, let's run the... Okay, so there you go. We've got a few right answers there. Now, I'm not going to string this out tonight. And as I say, it's just a one-off for a while because people have been asking for it. But I won't be doing it every week. There are a few right answers. I'll tell you the wrong answers. I'll tell you the right answers as well. Now, unfortunately, I haven't saved the picture of the one ladyboy. So what I'll do at the end of it, I'll tell you who got the right answer. I'll run it again. And you'll have to. Oh, the beer, guys, the beer. When I run it the second time, because I haven't saved the picture, that one picture of the lady boy, I'll tell you the number. Then when it runs through, you'll see. Okay, so let's see who's a winner and who's not a loser, but who didn't. Let's say who's a winner and who didn't get it right. Okay, so Paul wrong, Paul Hoskin wrong. Right, Dutch Farang wrong, Farang Travels wrong. Foxy Doggett wrong. Simon Goodson wrong. Jackie Chang wrong. DJC wrong. I won't tell you who's right at the moment. I'll tell you at the end. Okay, right. There's quite a lot of right answers there. Yeah. Right. I'm looking for some wrong answers now. Right. A lot. Right. Peter Claydon. No. Farang Travels. No. I Fly. Right. D-Rock says number 1 or number 6. So he's edging his bets there. But both of them answers are wrong. So that didn't work. Okay. Rob. Okay, I'm not going to say anything yet. Dutch Farang, no, incorrect. Richard, no. Matthew Alcorn, no, that's wrong. Joe Dirt, you're wrong. William Sullivan, wrong. Leeds, nope. Maybe 5, that's D-Rock. 79-77, nope. Alan, 6, no. Sean, no, let's jump past that one. D-Rock, number 15, no. Jason, no. LT, 8, no. Someone's really edging their bets here now. Look, we've got Richard. He said 6, 9, or 15. You're supposed to have one answer, Richard. You're edging your bets. Right. Wayne says 14. No, that's incorrect. To be or not to be, 6 or 9. Gerardo says 6. That's wrong. Simon English 10. No, that's wrong. Max Wright 15. No. Mr. K 1. No. Right. We'll finish this up now. D-Rock, 1, 6, or 15. None of them are right, D-Rock. I'm worried about you, mate. If you go down to Patty, I'm worried, seriously. Right, Puggy, 6, no. Right, there's loads there. I can't read them all out. Right, the correct answer was number 9. I'm going to run it again so you can see who that is. And let me just say congratulations to I'm not going to get everyone in here, but quite a lot of people did get it. So who got number 9? Who was correct tonight? Shane O'Traveller, well done. 21 Freedom. Jake McShane, Harold Bishop. Harold, how you doing? William Sullivan, you got it right. Javier, you got it right. Damon, of course, a connoisseur, I would imagine. Where's Appleyard? Yep, you got it, mate. Taxi Talal, you're correct. I Fly for Me, you got it correct. Martin Blackburn, you got it correct. Tom Charlie, yes. Paul Shackleton, yes. Rob, yes. Not even been to Thailand, you're guessing them right already. You'll be good to go. Alan Brown's it. Well, you got it right. I might pronounce that wrong. Nearly there now, guys. Dree Decker. Yeah, you got it right as well. Sean T got it right. Any more? To be or not to be, you got it right, but we'll give you 50% because you put 6 or 9. Dave Andrews, you got it as well. Snatch 50, yep. Charles Sanders, yes. Red Pill Denmark, yes. I can't pronounce that. Mold Gianni, yeah, you got it. We're nearly there now. I think that's everyone. Dry Decker's put 9 about 4 times. Davy Boy 666. Yes, mate. Yeah, you got it. Naja Seklu-Click, is it? You put 99. I presume you mean 9. You got excited there when you typed that. Oh, excuse me, guys. Yeah, I think that's everyone. Right. So well done to you. So if I've missed you, apologies. I'm whizzing through them because we've got about half an hour to go. I'm doing a shorter stream tonight, as I mentioned earlier. So let's just run that through again. Remember, guys, it's number 9. You just watch this and have a look at the face carefully. Number 15 was a joker in the pack. I thought that might fool a few people. I slipped that one in there. It was a bit naughty of me, but well done if you got that right. As I say, I'm not going to do it every week. It's just, I thought it was a bit of fun, and I haven't run it for a while now. And people do come in and say, look, I really enjoyed that competition. Why don't you do it again? Other people have written to me and said it's getting a bit stale now. So trying to keep everybody happy. So the guys who enjoy it, I hope you found that a lot of fun. But still, the answers are still a lot of answers coming in. Now, I'm not going to read out anymore now. That's done and dusted. Right, JB, I performed a secret handshake when you replayed that video, Peter. Do you do the same when we can't see you on the screen? What I tend to do when you can't see them on the screen, I don't know, start popping it, and and I even had a little sip of this, a little sneaky sip of that, which I think my face has gone red now. That I shouldn't do that. Right, okay. Chris says that was fun. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed that, Chris. We'll do that again in a few weeks. Keep some out there happy. One of the questions I always get asked, people say, "Oh, wow, can you accidentally take a lady boy? You know, I'm worried to death. I'm going to go to Thailand and accidentally take one." Believe me, guys, most guys I've seen who do that sort of thing, it isn't an accident. They might tell you it's an accident, but it's not. I think I told this months and months and months ago. I had a friend. Well, he wasn't a friend. He was a friend of a friend, and he's perfectly straight. He only has girlfriends in the UK, but when he goes to Thailand, he does entertain ladies, boys. Let's put it that way, and girls. And I said to him, I didn't know you were into that. And he said, well, it's just something I do when I come to Thailand. And it's like he's not that way inclined, but when he's in Thailand, it's just part of his holiday. And he's like, that's part of Thailand. So fair enough. What can you say? Right, Donald. Where's that gone? I'm just trying to put your comment on that. Right. Boy, a lot of guys getting a big surprise when a sausage shows up. Well, there was a story a couple of weeks ago. You know, the true stories. A guy had been serving in Afghanistan, young guy, quite a fit guy, never been to Thailand before. And his exact line was, he said, I got her into bed, and it was packing more than I was packing. But what surprised me, he ended the story by saying, well, when in Rome, you know, and yeah, I think he just went for it. Right, Simon English, Kenneth, if you're, all right, okay, I can't say that. Right, Christopher Doyle, when in Rome. Exact, Chris, I've just, two great minds think alike. Right, okay, let's do what's the time? Right, let's do another little story. Right, here's a good one. You know, you must have heard me say this a lot of times where I say, you know, the Thais, they can sleep anywhere. Honestly, guys, anywhere. If they're propping up a counter, they can fall asleep. If they're on a motorbike, they fall asleep. Absolutely anywhere a Thai, they can fall asleep standing up. If you've never been to Thailand, you don't believe me, this clip is about 30 seconds long. Have a look at this, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong. Now, to be fair, I don't think he was totally asleep. He was probably just laying down and squinting. But isn't that unbelievable? That was an accident. Right. Okay. Who's that? Tom Young-Gung. Right. Guy makes sense. Probably most don't go home and start loading their food with a ton of pepper. All right. I don't know where that comes from. Chris, I envy that. I can have trouble sleeping in bed. Right. Sean T, my wife, Shane Traveller, roll toll. Okay. There's conversations going on here. Right. Stephen, Kenneth, are there tons of videos about how much you can live on for different budgets? There are even some on here, I think. Yeah, what did you think of that video I did last Sunday, guys? The 3 separate budgets. You know, I did, because people always say, how much do I need for a vacation in Thailand? I got the usual sort of people writing and say you left this out and you left that out, but generally it kind of painted a picture of how much you could work out for yourself. If you're a budget traveler or mid-price or high-end, I told you the price of everything, and I hope that helps some guys. You know, I mean, I've never been able to answer that before. Hopefully, I don't know what you guys thought of it. And like I say, this Sunday, I'm trying to put out some more videos. This Sunday, I've got a video out called 10 Things They Don't Tell You About in Thailand. And that's all I'm going to say about it at the moment. Right, okay. I don't know about Laos. Tommy, I'm going to say, I meant about Ladyboy in Thailand, part of being Laos. Okay, I got you now. Do you know, unbelievably, I've never been to Laos, and I've never been to Vietnam. I've been to just about everywhere else. I've been to Indonesia, South Korea, Philippines, Cambodia, obviously Thailand, a lot of countries, but never. I've always wanted to go to Vietnam. I think when I live in Thailand, I'm going to do a trip to Vietnam. Be a good excuse to make some videos as well, wouldn't it? I don't know nothing about it, so I'm going to be a newbie in Vietnam. Maybe I'll fall in love and get scammed, and I'll be reading out a Saturday story. There was this guy called Peter who was thick as 2 short plank, and it's my own story. You never know. Right, D-Rock, the 3 separate budget video was great, Peter. It was real quality. Thanks for that, D-Rock. Like I said, I did get a few people write in and say, oh, you forgot this, and what about that? And really, I tried to make it a general, an all-round video that people could get their heads around if they hadn't been there. Paul Hoskin, the older the bar girl, the cheaper it is. All right, I'll take your word for that, Paul. Right, let me put another picture up. We'll tell you another quick story. This is great. This one. Look at that. Look at that. Let me find the story for that. Hang on. Right. So this is, I'll just read this out. The governor of Bangkok has pledged to end the flooding that plagues the capital each year and says he has the tools to do it. He says the construction of another 2 underground water tanks, in addition to 2 have been completed, will be done within the next 2 years, helping to put an end to Bangkok's ongoing flooding issues. Now, the reason I thought that was great, I mean, look at that. I mean, that is a street that you normally walk about and talk about. Is she swimming there? I don't know. And do you remember last week I did a story about one of the oldest American franchise companies in Thailand, A&A, I think they're called. They serve the Pepsi or Coke with the ice cream, and they're pulling out of Thailand. Well, it seems they're the short end of the wedge because this company, Carl's Jr., the burger place, they're pulling out as well. They've been around for quite a long time in Thailand. I'm sure you've had a burger in there at some point or the other. All right. Okay, let's come back and see what you guys are saying. Right, I can't read that. I can't. What's that? Blood. All right. I visited Angel City and Makati too. Had a great time. All the girls spoke English very friendly. Yeah, when I went to Thailand, it was in the 90s. Philippines, it was in the 90s, and I went to Makati because that was kind of like the equivalent to Nana Plaza, but a bit more low key. But they had a new mayor, and he said he was going to clean up the city, and he closed Makati, smashed all them bars up, closed it. Put a lot of Filipinos out of work, actually. Okay, so Alan says, I budget around 7,000 a day for a 3-week holiday. So 7,000 baht a day, that's quite a good budget. That's about £150 a day. I can get by normally on about 4,000, between 2 and 4, depending on what I'm doing. But don't forget, I don't. I do buy ladies drinks. I don't entertain ladies in that way. But if I'm waiting for a friend, I'll go and sit in a bar. I'm not gonna be Mr. I'm not a priest, am I? So I'll play Connect Four, and I'm not gonna. I don't expect it to take up a girl's time for nothing. So if a girl plays Connect Four where I'm waiting for a friend, sometimes the traffic's horrendous in Bangkok. You can wait for an hour for somebody. Well, you sit there on your own. It's boring. So if I sit with her and play Connect Four, they go, I'll buy her a couple of drinks. Why not? So yeah, that's a good budget. 7,000 a day. It's a very good budget. Okay, right, Mazza. Haven't seen you in for a while, Mazza. Hi, Peter. Just tuning in for 15 minutes on my break in the truck. We'll watch back around midnight tonight when I get home over a few years. Well, nice to see you, Mazza. Thanks for stopping by. And it's going to be a little bit shorter tonight because, well, you'll see why if you watch the entire video. Right, Danny Darsa. I did read out. Was it your comment I read out earlier? Yes, it was. I read your comment. Greenbelt Gorilla. Okay, I don't know what that comment means, but I did. If you didn't hear me read out your comment about the live streams, you can go back and watch that later. But it was a very I liked your comment. It was very positive. Give me something to think about. Okay, priest of the Monga Church. That's me. Right, Franco, how are we doing? All right, 3 or 4 in the house. Only 110 likes. Let's get a few more hit buttons, please. Yeah, that's Franco. He does a moderating for me and Phil in Patia. And I don't know, is there anyone else, Franco? I think there's only us 2, isn't there? Right. Scapaci, is it? Peter and Patia. There is a nutter in every bar. If you look around and don't see one, it's probably you. That's quite good, actually. I've got a couple of older videos on the channel called 20 Lies That Foreigners Tell You. And it's all this, I'm in the SAS, so I've got to keep low key. Don't tell anyone I'm a secret government agent, and he's wearing a Singer vest and flip flops, and he's begging a beer off you. You find these characters in Patia. Right, I'll tell you what we're going to do now. Let me just set this up. That's it won't be the same. Right, I'm going to do joke of the week now, guys. Now, if you haven't been here before, I read out a joke every week. And these are other people's jokes. Obviously, I'm not a comedian, but I just read them out. And if you want to send your joke in afterwards, I will read them out as long as it's clean. So here is this week's joke of the week. This man walks into a bar and he sees a donkey. He asks the bartender, why is there a donkey in here? The bartender says, if you can make the donkey laugh, I'll give you $100. So the man whispers in the donkey's ear and the donkey starts laughing. Then the bartender said, if you can make the donkey cry, I'll give you another $100. So the man turns to an angle where only the donkey can see him, and the donkey started crying. The bartender couldn't believe it. So he asked the man, How did you make the donkey laugh and then make him cry? He said, it's easy. He said, I first told him that my dick was bigger than his, then I showed him. There you go, joke of the week. If that's too much, guys, let me know and I won't do it anymore, but I'm just trying to fill a void. I'm trying to make it entertaining. Right, good question here. Christopher, Peter, tell us what's happening with your tenant. Well, it's good news. If you were here last week or the week before, I'm moving out to Thailand. I'm trying to get my house in order before I go. That's a saying. I don't mean my house. I'm trying to get everything in order. So the spanner in the works is I've got a tenant who's been with me about 8 years and he pays his rent, but he's always late. And he's a bit of a pain in the backside, to be honest with you. And I want this property vacated. I don't want to get into its personal reasons, but I want this property vacated. And the agent I used gave him his notice, and he just stopped communicating with everyone, stopped paying his rent. And he basically said to the agent, when they went round then and eventually, had it out with him, he basically said, look, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here till bailiffs are on my doorstep and I'm not paying any more rent. And unfortunately, like many countries, if you're English, you know what I mean. If you've got, it's a terrible system, really. If you've got somebody in a house that you own and you give them 2 months notice, you want them out, and they decide, well, I don't want to go out and I'm not going to pay any more rent. It can take you up to a year to get that person out. You have to take them to court. You get some tree hugging lawyer that goes with them for free to try and find a loophole to get the case thrown out. And it's your property at the end of the day, but you're the big bad landlord. And had that happened, what he said, that he was going to stay there and dig his heels in, I would have lost about £15,000 because I would have lost the rent. I would have had to continue paying the mortgage. I would have had to pay for the solicitor, the court fees, bailiffs, the whole kabang. But what's worse than that, I'm heading out to Thailand. I'm trying to wrap everything up. And what's worse than that is, it would have been a thorn in my side. The latest news is he is moving out. He'll be out by Monday. He's already started packing. We know he's out. And it's like winning the lottery. It really is, guys. I'm so happy. You wouldn't believe how happy I am. And I'm even more happy now because Damon's giving me a super chat. Look, $8.99. Right. Love the Ladyboy quiz. It sounded like a car fueling auction. 3795. Brilliant stuff. Love it. Please do more next week. I don't think I'll do it next week, Damien, because what I've discovered is when you do something very often, like every week, it does become kind of old hat, and it gets kind of boring very, very quickly, doesn't it? Like my joke of the week. But now and again's fine. If you do it now and again, people are like, oh, you haven't seen this for a while, and they enjoy it, don't they? Okay. Now, as we discovered earlier in the stream, people want to be part of it more. So I'm going to try and read out even more comments and get a few questions from you guys. Maybe, we can have a little bit of a question and answer session. Whatever you want to ask me. Right. Kenneth Bretel, is it? Have an online order woman, but cute, 47 for 3 years. All right. Okay. Stephen, the council staff tell them to stay put until, yeah, you're right. That's what I mean. I've had this before. I have had somebody that I've had to evict. So what happens when you, we're not going to turn this into like the landlord's forum, but just quickly in answer to what it's not a question of what you're saying, Stephen. It is right. If you give somebody their notice, what they do, they go to the council and say, I'm going to be homeless. I need a council house. If you're not from the UK, a council house is it's a government house. It's provided by the government. You pay a minimal rent. And they go to the council and they say, look, I'm being evicted. Here's a letter from a landlord. I'm homeless. I haven't got money for a deposit for a house or anything. What the council tell them, stay put until the bailiffs are knocking the door. So they think, oh, all right then. And that can take up to a year. It really sucks in this country big time. But like I say, I've won the lottery, haven't I? Right. Donald. Well, we're doing great here. Everyone, please hit the like button. Right. Yeah. Thank you, Donald. Let me put that picture. We had this last week, this picture. It's a good picture, but let me go back to what we had earlier because that's a nice picture, isn't it? Look, 3 little cuties there. And whatever you're drinking, guys, cheers. Social housing. Yeah. Roger. Roger, nice to see you, Roger. Good. How are we going tonight? Are we all right tonight? Right, Roger, I spent about 50,000 baht on ladies' drinks. That's a lot. The ladies say I'm an angel. I'm sure they do. The Franks say I'm a dork. I prefer to listen to the ladies. It's more pleasant. I'll tell you what used to really wind me up, Roger. You got guys who live in Thailand, and I do realize when you live in Thailand, you can't be as cavalier with your funds as when you come on holiday. You know, when you come on holiday, vacation for the Americans, when you go away, you save up, you've got a wad of cash, you're going for 2 weeks, a month, whatever it is, but you make sure you go there with more than you need. So if you're giving 100 baht tips and you know you get scammed on 1 or 2 bills, you don't mind because you've saved up. You want to have a good time. You don't want to have an altercation with anybody, do you? Because that'll spoil your holiday. So you don't mind. But guys who live there, they can't afford to splash. I'll be the same when I live there. I'm not going to be splashing out. I'll tip, but I'll be very careful. When I go to Hua Hin, I'll take a mini bus for 180 baht rather than a taxi for 2,000 baht like I would when I go on holiday. When I go to Pattaya, I'll take a taxi down. I'll go down with Apple. I'll pay 1,100, 1,200, whatever it is. When I live there, I won't take a taxi down there. I'll take a bus down there. Why? Because I'll have a rucksack. My clothes will be, my suitcase of clothes, whatever, will be in my room in Bangkok. So it's fine. I'll take a bus. I've got all the time in the world. It's cheap. And I live there. But what used to really wind me up in when I lived in Pattaya for a while is you go into a bar and I'd have 3 or 4 drinks. I was really happy with the service. The girl was pleasant, really nice. She'd come up to me and always take care of the drinks and pour it. And, you know, at the end of it, I'd give her 100 baht, right? £2.50, $3. And quite often I'd have somebody who lives in Pattaya to turn around and they say, do you know what? They say this to me. They say, guys like you spoil it for us. And I say, what do you mean? And they say, well, we live here. We can't afford to be tipping 100 bahts. You guys like you come in, you're chucking 100 baht notes. It makes us look like cheap Charlies. I'll just turn around to them and say, mate, it's your choice. You give them what you want to give them, but don't tell me what to give them. If I want to give them 500 baht, I'll give them 500 baht. That's my decision, right? So I understand the two sides of it, but don't tell other people how much to tip. You know, it's their hard-earned money. They can. No, I am preaching, aren't I? We'll move on. Right, Javier. The live stream is pretty awesome. You're doing a very good job, Peter. Right, thanks, Javier. I don't know. You know, the thing is, I do put the effort in the daytime to kind of research, get pictures and all that sort of thing, because I watch other people's live streams. Some people that just sit there. I'm not going to criticize anybody. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people have got the talent to be able to keep people entertained for 2 hours or an hour just by talking. I haven't, you know. So I prepare a lot of stuff and I try to mix it up a little bit, and hopefully it's enjoying. Right, JB, Peter, this week an older woman. Right, okay, I think I've heard this one. Peter, this week an older woman from Grimsby with no connection to Thailand caught my eye. I felt ashamed. Please forgive me and let me stay in the stream. I was confused. I will not go to Lidl again. All right. Well, you haven't been to Thailand for a long time, have you? Better than Mrs. Palmer and her 5 daughters, I guess. Right, Richard, how are you doing on Saturday stories, Peter? Well stocked, or is the supply getting low? Richard, in answer to your question, I'm doing okay, and I could always use more, because what happens, you think about it, I tell 3 to 4 to 5 stories every single Saturday. That's a lot of stories in a month, and I've been doing it for over 2 years, 2.5 years now. I did the odd one. It's become a regular feature of the Saturday mornings, and I can always use a story, and they all get read out. The majority, I'd say, there's only probably in 2 years 2 I haven't read out, and I've wrote to the guy and said, look, sorry, I can't use this. Either they're too short and they're not really a story, or there's so much slang and swearing in them that I just haven't got the time to edit at that level, or they've sent me them they've taken a picture with a smartphone. I can't edit it. It's got to be in a Word document. So that's a long way of saying, if you've got a story, Richard, send it in. I'd love to have it. It might take a few weeks till you hear it, but I'll send you a message and say, look, your story's coming out today. I always do. Everybody's story who gets read out, I write to them and say, your story's coming out on Saturday. And any of you guys, if you're sitting on a story, send it in. I can always use it. I'd love to get a story from a woman. That reminds me, I haven't got a picture. I've read this is really interesting. Listen to this. I got this from, I can't remember where I got it from, but it's a story there. But this is quite interesting. 36 foreign women received Thai nationality for marrying Thai men. So I didn't know that's that simple. Right, the Royal Gazette website on Thursday, March 17th, so about a week old, this story now, published a Ministry of Interior's announcement that 36 foreign women have been granted Thai nationality under the Nationality Act of 1965 after they had filed for a marriage certificate with Thai national men. Of the 36 women, 13 are Chinese, 8 are from Myanmar, 4 are Indian, 3 are Cambodian, and 3 are Vietnamese. 2 are from Laos, and 1 is Malaysian. 2 women are of Thai Lao and Thai Yao ethnic groups. So that's something we don't think about, isn't it? It's Thai, and if you go onto Google and you just type in foreign women married to Thai men, you'll see some pictures of some nice Western women, and you'll see like Thai guys are policemen, army guys, all sorts. There is quite a few foreign women married to Thai guys, and why not? Why not? Right, Stephen, Peter, Trevor did talked about something similar. Frank's going to Thai clubs and flashing the cash in front of locals who earn a lot less, of course, often ends badly. I'm not on about flashing the cash, though, Steve. I'm not on about walking into a bar, ringing the bell and going, hey, look at this, fanning yourself with 1,000 baht notes. I'm not talking about that. I know I don't mean that in a bad way with you, Steve. I know it's a legit question. All I'm trying to say is if you go into a bar, you have 3 drinks, the same waitress takes care of your place connect for, it's not a waitress, bar girl, whatever. You're really happy, you want to move on, and you're going to go back to that bar because you're happy with the service, you had a good time. You want to give her 100 baht. Who's got the right to say to you, you're spoiling it for me? It's your money. You worked hard for it. If you feel that girl deserves it, you should have the right to do it. Right? I don't listen to people. I give them what I want to. Right. Okay. William, suggestion: instead of a lazy boy contest, how about a man girl contest? I tell you what was the idea I was toying with, and I didn't do it. I was going to do spot the tomboy. So if you don't know what a tomboy is, it's basically a girl who has short hair and tries to look like a man, and there's a lot of them in Thailand. And I thought about spot the tomboy, but I thought it wouldn't be as much fun, would it? Looking at lots of guys and then trying to find out which one's a tomboy. So I thought I'd do the spot the ladyboy again. Okay. Tony Tottenham, great name. Peter, take the bus from the airport to Hua Hin, 290 baht, big bus, recliners. Yeah, you can go to, Tony, good point. You can go to Victory Monument or other locations in Bangkok. You can get one of those Toyota minibuses, 180 baht. They go to Soi 50 in Hua Hin. From Soi 50 to anywhere in Hua Hin, you're talking like 50 to 60 baht taxi. No name. No name, what are you saying? I've lost you. Simon, okay, you're talking to someone else. Donald, how about you, Peter, do a live stream talking to Everything Pattaya guy and do a dual live stream about Thailand. By the way, I love the blonde in the middle. Can you see her? I'll go that way. Yeah, she's cute. They're all cute. All Thai girls cute. Yeah, I mean, I'm open to it. I mean, I'm not going to go around begging other YouTubers to come on their streams or for them to come on me. I have asked a number of people in the past who've refused me. I wrote to a guy called Brett Dev. He didn't even reply to me. So you think it's easy, you write to people and they're going to come on your stream. Some people don't even answer. At least you think people would at least have the courtesy to reply to you, but they don't. Some people have. I've had Brian Flowers on here. I've had Bangkok Pat, all sorts. But yeah, I mean, if anybody watches this and they're a Thailand-based YouTuber and they want me to come on as a guest or they want to come on here, contact me and we'll do something. Franco, Paul Hoskin, it's called 7/11. JB, can you put your first picture up again, Peter? I might be mute the stream. Put some music on and have a bit of JB alone time. You dirty, dirty devil, JB. Paul Hoskin, how about is a beer in the cheapest bar? We could talk about that all night, couldn't we? Right, guys, it's 1 hour 27. I'm going to wrap it up here while it's hot. If you've only just come in, the format of the stream is now, I put out the poll. Should I do it every week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks? I've decided to continue doing it every week because it is a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it, but I'm not doing it for 2 hours anymore. I'm going to have a strict cut-off stream. Damien said he bet me that I wouldn't be able to do it. I am going to do it. I don't want to go, actually, but I'm going to go because I want to keep the streams fresh every week. And I think if I do it like this, then we've all got something to look forward to next week. And that's the way we're going to do it. Guys, I've lost my... there we are. Guys, it's been a blast. Whatever you're doing, have a great weekend. Tomorrow, as always, 4 great stories. And that video on Sunday, 10 things you never knew about Thailand. Thanks for coming in the stream tonight. Thanks to all the guys who gave me a super chat. Whatever you do tomorrow on Sunday, I hope you have a good time. And I'll be back for the live stream next Friday. Thanks for joining in tonight, guys.
บางวันคิดข้าวว่าตามมาได้ก็ทำร้องน้ำตาคนเสียใจไม่อยากกินข้าวปลาหน้าของพ่อเรา